astrology. So transits really are the formal name for how horoscopes get written. Transit is based on the movement of, what am I trying to say, astrology energy right after you're born. So you get your natal chart, which is static, but of course I'm a Capricorn. 30 days later it was Aquarius, Pisces, Aries. So what's happening to your own energy as time keeps moving, that's called a transit, and that's where horoscopes are created. It's a science and it's a lot to that, but at a high level, one reason again why I like apps, back in the day you had to draw y'all saw the natal wheel, you got to draw the this, that, and the other, the connections. But we have an engine that allows us to kind of know what's going on. So actually let's see what they said about transits. I just gave y'all the digital Shaman interpretation. Actually, I like this language here. Planet in the sky makes contact with a planet in your natal chart. That is the key relationship of a transit. Birth chart tells you who you are and what your purpose are. The transits explain the current things in your life. And let me pause there, because just like I said, the sun goes every 30 days switching signs. So some transits are going to be very quick. The quickest being the moon. Think about it. She's new, she's full, she's half. As she's doing all that, she's rolling from Aries to Pisces. And that's why it's very important for you to have your birth time, because the moon can change signs in one same day. Like you compound that with being born in between a sun sign change. You got to really know your birth time. So I bring this up again. So we have those short transits, the moon, the sun, but then we have on the opposite end our and this is where astrology meets astronomy. Like this is some real life physics. Let me say my example and then I will give you another example. But the outer planets, like Jupiter moves pretty quick. I think Jupiter transits are a year. Let's actually start with Saturn, Uranus, Neptune for sure, and Pluto is actually it's such a slow transit. And again, we're talking about time. So I said Jupiter is 1 year. Saturn, I think is about 2 or 3 years. It stays in each sign. I'm sorry, let me add that part and maybe it will make sense to you. So Jupiter, you know what? This is how we're going to continue. I'm sitting here talking to y'all. Let me show y'all, because I liked, where was that in the Shiny app? No, man, we looked at it earlier, y'all. Oop. I gotta find it again. Where they actually tell you, oh my gosh, it was just like right here. Wait a minute. Not my... Oh, maybe, am I confusing? I thought that, and you know what, hold on, y'all, I'm not crazy. Now I want to edit it out. Man, that's weird. Oh, here it is. Okay, I was really about to be like, come on now. All right, I'm still gonna, current sky scope. So this will help y'all understand what I'm talking about. Let's pull it all together. Actually, let's start from here. Key, edit this in. So, not to jump around, but let's refocus in on the relationship Chani mentions between your personal chart and the current sky. The most important thing you want to remember is how long is a transit happening? How long is that energy unfolding or manifesting? Now, it's always a dualism. It's happening globally. We call that the collective, and it's happening personally to your chart. So, just kind of keep this to keep it simple. So most important, you want to know the duration and the speed and the length of the transit you're experiencing. So for instance, the quickest are the moon. Think about it. She's going from full to nude to half to a quarter, and all during this time. Back to the length, I guess she's switching, going from full to nude, but it's also switching the sign. So that's why you're like Capricorn sun, Sagittarius moon. And actually I'm Sagittarius moon 25 degrees. So people who were born 5 minutes later, they're Capricorn sun, Capricorn moon. Woo, dodge the ball. And I mean, actually my mom, let's just teach and talk about, we're gonna smash everything together, y'all. because once I learned astrology, I'm just like, wow, I could really see how my life would have shifted. Because if I was born later, because I'm already tightly wound and serious from my sun and technically Mercury in Capricorn. But that moon would have been that gets you depressive. That's dark and that's isolation. So my mom, who is actually a Sagittarius, like I got the literal moon happening, she opted to leave travel, hooves, and move away from the family. And we we weren't far, but we were away. And she did that because she did not want to raise me in isolation because my mom's sisters did not have children. So I think about that. I'm like, wow, she decided to stay home. It would have been weird though. Like maybe that Capricorn moon would have been in the 4th house, which would have softened it. See, I'm just giving y'all real life astrology. That's not what happened, but that's how quickly a destination, a whole life can change. And that's why we have the blended world we live in. So, sorry to tangent. So, to get back to what we're focusing on is what you want to pay attention with transits, which is how long are they happening and how intense is it going to be? So, moons are very quick, but it can be, think about it, you have a full moon and then you have an eclipse. How long it radiates in your life. So, that's how transits in the moon can work. The second thing that's fairly quick is every 30 days we have a sun sign change. Where, it's September 10th. By the time it's the 21st, it's Libra season. Then I'm Scorpio. And right in your chart, you'll see the sun moving through all the houses. It's almost like transits are like a cleansing. But that's only for the fast moving ones. So back to the most critical point is Mercury moves pretty quick. It's always next to its bestie, the sun. So some of this stuff with transit starts to actually intersect with astronomy, which to me, I'm not going to argue about astrology being real or not. If you're here, obviously you jam with it. But I think it does add a notion, anytime you can apply science to spirituality, I think it strengthens what we're talking about. Because now, like I said, we're moving into physics. So the Mercury transits are very quick, except for Mercury, what can go retrograde. So that's also another type of transit that's very popular. You hear that often, but now you kind of understand what it really kind of means. So you have, we're just going around, I think this also is a tour of the solar system. So Mercury, actually then it's Earth, that's our vantage point. Then we move away, Venus, I think Venus is in between. I'm kind of getting a little loose there. Did I skip Mars? What is happening? I'm bugging. Mars transits are about a year. Mars is moving quick and angry through the sky. Venus transits, I think about a couple, I forget. Venus is such a subtle, actually, I have this here and I'm not using my tools. No, she moves quick. August 29th through, that's about, I don't know, I thought Venus maybe was every 6 weeks. Let's actually look at this again. So the moon for 2 days now is in Sag. Hence me teaching, Sag is teaching. Mercury and Virgo, look at me trying to be accurate, matching up all these details, but I love, as a Capricorn Mercury, so what's actually happening in my chart in real life right now is that Mercury in Virgo, transit Mercury in Virgo, is sending a nice boost of lovely Earth energy, accurate Earth energy to my Capricorn natal Mercury. So that's again how it works and how it's applied. Like, what am I doing with this for up until the 26th is definitely it sharpens my mental abilities. Like I'm reviewing these apps, I'm teaching, but I'm at my day job, I'm an auditor. So I'm very analytical. And I'm very naturally very grounded and strategic. That's the Capricorn. So the Virgo really just kind of enhances. And actually, like I said, to me, it's a second set of glasses. Like, it focuses. Let's actually see what they wrote in the app. I'm giving y'all directing your attention. Oh, but the thing is, I'm not sure if this is, I think this is so I talked about the energy applies, of course, always collectively and then personally. So this is probably more so for the collective, because, yeah, but I would agree with this part. Time to focus on the nuts and bolts of projects. Careful inspection. Yeah, so this is definitely what I would say a generic. And I gave y'all how it merges with my Capricorn Mercury. So we were just talking about the speed. Now, there's been a lot going on about Mars and Cancer, and that's actually, we will save that for later. We'll look at a few different apps to kind of see what they're saying. But this is, so Mars transits, I know, at least for a year. And I think that takes us, so I think I had it backwards. So Sun, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Earth. Yeah, then there's like the gap, like actually there's the asteroid belt, kind of NASA nerd a little bit here. And Jupiter. Jupiter transits, Jupiter moves quick to the sky. I think they're like a year-ish. But then Saturn, and this is where it starts to get real. Of course, when we're talking about Saturn, it starts to get real, man. Saturn transits are 2 to 3 years. And, you know, when I'm talking about these transits, aka these are planets living in your houses. So it's cool when the moon is and the moon and sun is just boppity boopity moving around. But when you have Saturn sitting in your 4th house for 2 or 3 years, leaning on you, you feel that. You feel it every day for a long time. And don't forget that, you know what, I'm gonna stop there, because these you have all those angles and conversations happening in your natal chart, and the same, you have expanded conversations also happening in the transit chart. So Chani doesn't get all into the wheel, but I'm kind of also just telling y'all how that really works, because I do want to kind of expand here about these transits. Hold on, I just lost my little teaching screen. Oh, there it is. So Mars and Cancer. So yeah, this is, so Mars and Cancer. And Mars also does not retrograde. Venus and Mars don't retrograde too often. So if you have those in your natal chart, you know, kind of unique. When I see it, I'm like, kind of interesting. But I always see, as a reader, I always seem to see retrogrades in clusters. You rarely see one. It's always like 3 or 4 of them bad boys. So Mars and Cancer, this is everyone buckling in. You have a hot, fiery planet dealing with water for a long time because there's a retrograde involved. So as I was saying, yep, and I like how they warn you about these retrogrades coming up, Shani. Good job there. You really want to pay attention to the Saturn, Pluto. Pluto's a generational planet. That's why you like, Pluto only makes an orbit once every 84 years. You're not going to have a Pluto return. You're not going to tell Saturn return. It's not going to happen for Pluto. But when you have a Pluto transit, because most time Pluto will move, what would y'all say? Actually, I'm at, well, not quite 50% of my life. Oh, actually, yeah. All right, I'm 40, in the 40s. I don't care to tell how my age is. But Pluto, I have a natal 11th house. And now it's currently in the 2nd house. Woo, Pluto, you were moving so swift there. Watch out, Pluto. You're moving faster than a turtle. But that's 12th house, 1st house, 2nd house. Yeah, because we're getting ready to say goodbye, Pluto and Capricorn. Poor little out for Pluto and Capricorn. Yeah, so I guess. Wow, wait a minute. Is my Pluto in the 4th house mean that's time I'm going to implode? I could see that. Like, that's the transit. That's it. Because, yeah, the way it's moving. Or Pluto in 5th house, which that's hard. I don't want to go out that way. I'm not putting that on me. But, you know, this is how astrologers think. Where's the energy going? And Pluto's crazy. So you only say this is actually me acting plutonic. But let's move on into Uranus. Uranus is, I should just look here because, oh, they tell you also, I'm so glad, because I was like, wait a minute, I think Uranus is Uranus has been in Taurus a long time. Every Taurus I know has been shaken and not stirred. But let's see, all right, 2019, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah, that's 6 years. Yeah, so Uranus lives in a house for 6 years. And there's overlaps, retrograde, like, so you always got to know your transits. Neptune, Pisces, like, that's one where it may move. Yeah, I have that in the 1st house. It's just now to the 3rd house. After 14 years of moving, it went 2 houses. So y'all see? And like I said, the moon, think how many times the moon went around your chart in 40 years compared to Neptune, two houses. So, but that energy just sits on you, and you gotta always know how to work with it. So, all right, man, I actually feel like this is going to be a video about transits. We're going to stop here.